Brott asks, how do you recover from PhD burnout? The answer is really simple. You decide to. You decide to stick it to the world, and you stand on your own, and you look at the rest of the world and you say, you know what, I'm not going to put up with all of that. You're getting pushed around at this moment from people around you, from the theories, the ideas, everything is pushing you around. That was one of the pieces of advice that was given to me when I was in my PhD program. And, you know, if you look around and you see people that have been doing this a long time, they have a quiet confidence that nobody else has when they're just walking through life and they realize they're going to get there. And when you realize that you could just get there and you could push back against the world and live your own life, however that might be for you, that's when things start changing for you. That's when you actually make decisions for you and you realize that, hey, you know what? I'm not burnt out. I've just been pushed around way too many times. This is really the solution to it. When you stand back and you say, I'm just going to walk my life. I'm going to get the exercise that I need. I'm going to read when I need to read and write when I need to write, and just do those steps no matter what is going on around you. That's when you actually recover from PhD burnout. When you decide that, hey, you know what? I need to pause, take some time, go to therapy if I need to. That's when you decide. That's when things actually change in your life. When you decide that, hey, I'm going to take some time off on a weekend and not feel guilty about it and feel like, hey, I can do this thing. That's when you decide. That's when things change. The whole thing is not going to change. It never goes away. There's always people pushing you. There's always that pressure to push you to go in a certain direction. That never ever goes away, no matter who you are and what you're about. You have to decide that you're going to do this. Now imagine yourself the way that and there's an old video that I did many years ago. You go look it up. Imagine yourself, you're just operating like a CEO of a major Fortune 500 company. Now, if you're Walmart CEO, I don't know who it is currently at the moment, but you can think that, hey, they can get pushed around. There's always going to be something that's going on. They're accountable to tens of thousands of people, and it's going to be a stressful job, absolutely. But they decide to take time off when they need to. They decide to go and do something. They decide to get therapy. They decide to get a coach if you need it. They decide to listen to podcasts and YouTube shows and all those kind of things to make you feel better inside and to figure out how to do these things. They decide to do that. That's what you need to do. When you decide one day to say, I'm not going to get pushed around anymore, that's when things change. That's when you stop feeling stressed out and you stop sort of realizing that everybody is sort of trying to get you. And I think that's really it. It's a decision. And when you decide to do that, when you decide to walk your path, whatever that path looks like for you, that's when things change. And that's when you're just like, whatever. You know, you might get a whole bunch of emails, whatever. You walk your path. You do what you can do for you. And I've seen that happen so many times where you try to please, you try to do your best, and you're just like, no, I'm just going to do my thing. And when you decide to do that, and you just say, I'm just going to do my thing, and I'm going to help out and be nice whenever I possibly can, but if I don't have time for that, that's okay. That's it. You really have to do that sort of simple decision that you're going to take care of yourself and stop letting other people push you around. I think that's the secret. That's how you recover from PhD burnout. We all feel like this all the time, right? But we have to decide to actually get the exercise. We have to decide to take some time off when you need it. You have to decide to have dinner with family and friends. You have to decide to do all sorts of stuff, but it's an active decision instead of letting other people push you around. Guess what? All of that work, all that kind of stuff, it's always going to be there. It's never going to disappear. It never does. There's always somebody else. They're just looking. The work looks for a warm body that's willing to actually change it and do it. And if you just decide, I'm not going to be that warm body, it's okay. Nobody is going to come after you. You have to decide to do it. And guess what? If you don't get tenure, who cares? If you don't get full professor or whatever, who cares? You just go and do something else. You don't get that job, you go and do something else where the job is actually going to be better for you anyways. It's going to be more suited for you. And I look back and I think about all the times where I was pining to get something and trying to actually get something. And I realized that, hey, once you get it, your life doesn't change. It actually would be better off for you not getting that particular thing. It would have been far better for me to maybe just get an industry job, for example. That would have been good for me. I would have been okay. I would have been happy. And the same thing that goes for you is that you decide to actually do something. And when you decide to do something, the world sort of comes about around you. It's a different way of thinking about things, right? Instead of being part of everything else, you just walk your path. You get up, you do your thing, maybe you get exercise, maybe you read a bit, you get up, do your thing, eat some dinner, go to bed, and you decide to do that every day. It's a decision. That's it. All right, take care and good luck.